Hello and welcome to the Week 1 update for the Dragon's Tavern. This week we had 29 commits from 2 different contributors, and we are through Week 1 of 12. So this week those contributions took the form of McFunkyPants, who came in and added particle effects for when both the spells and the monsters are played, as well as a particle effect for if you try to play a card in an already occupied space, and some adjustments on those effects, and we'll see those in the demo in just a second. And then I went through and added a scriptable object for the first card set, and then implemented some of the game features, such as drawing a card from the deck to the hand, as well as displaying the hand, and having the player deck have some functionality to it. The player is also able to put cards on the table, both a monster and a spell, though the functionality is a little bit not working. We'll get there. I also implemented a state machine, as well as the visuals for the player, and cheats which show up on the screen so that way if somebody's playtesting, they can know how to scroll through it. I also added the player currency system. I don't know if I want to call that currency or points or however you want to implement that. And then also some font auto resizing to fit into the text boxes. So let's hop on over to the demo here. So you can see we have now this turn state box that's going to zip across the screen from right to left to indicate which state of the game that you are in. We have this yellow box now, which indicates how many points the player still has to use this turn, so that way you're not putting down all of your super strong monsters in the first turn. We have our player health here and here for the player and the enemy. This little circle right here shows how many cards are in our deck, which is going to update in real time once the hands are dealt for the player. And up here we can have the cheats. That's just a manual thing to show what we have working that we will need to turn off before the game is built. And then we still have our indications down here of what does what. So if we hit play, we're going to see the player's hand drawing cards for 5. There we go. And we have the player draw phase that zipped across there, where we gained another card, and then we had the player set phase come across there. So we can still move along here, and you can see some pictures from the different cards, and we have some new cards like the Figure Skating Worm, the Salem Witch, the Anxious Bomb Diffuser, and you can pick one of those cards, and you can set them on the table around here. But let's pick a bit easier card to read here. So we have the value of the turn, or value of the points left being 4. So if we take this 3 card and we'll put that on the table, you can see both the particle system that McFunkyPants made, as well as our currency dropping down to 1. So we can take this one and we can play that and it will drop to 0. And if we try to pick another monster card that has a value that goes below 0, and we try to place that, it's going to flash red up here to indicate that we can't play that. Just like that. But we can still play our spell cards. So we can place those on the table, and you could see the particle effect that McFunkyPants worked on there. And since it's still in a cheat type of phase, you can draw cards whenever you want, whenever you press on the box, unless I turned that off. That's okay. We will circle back around to that. We also have the player deck off to the right up here, updating. We have an initial like 21 or 22 cards, and each time that the player draws a card, it picks a random number from one of these 2 lists and adds that to your hand, and then takes it away from the list. So by the end of the deck, you will have no cards left in your hand. You can also press this end set phase, which will move you into the player attack phase, and this is going to be where you are attacking the opponent's monsters. And once that phase is done, you can press the end attack phase, and then it will go into the player end phase, and then the AI will draw, and then I have this all set up to flow automatically, so the AI will set, the AI will attack, the AI will end, and then we'll go back to the player draw phase, and we gained another card, and we're back to the player draw phase. So if we place that on the table, I thought, might be worth investigating what's going on there. But that is currently the state of the game. So if we hop on over to the Trello board, I didn't quite get as far along as I was hoping to. I had a family emergency come up and I may have more of that to deal with. In weeks 2 and 3, we'll see how things are looking in the next couple of days. But I would like to be able to tribute monsters, as well as have the player attack a monster card on the other side of the field, have the player be able to change theirs from attack to defense, and have the system recognize the differences there. Once a card has attacked, then their actions are done for that turn, and then have the reactions based on that. So if you attack a 3 card value against a 2 card value, then you'll have a 1 value card remaining, and as well as getting that first card set functionality in. We might actually move that card set 2 over there, as well as tackling the functionality of the monsters and spells. Hopefully most of these all are coupled together, so it's the same problem that we're going to be working on this week. But looking forward into the future, we have quite a bit of art coming up, a little bit of AI, some music, and some sound effects. If anybody would like to be involved in the project, we will be happy to have you along. And that is the week 1 update for the Dragon's Tavern.